5 reasons how the farmers managed to sustain farm law protest for a year. The agitation against the 3 farm laws started in Punjab but gradually spread to Haryana and parts of Uttar Pradesh. But it caught the eyeballs of the nation only when farmers marched to the Delhi borders on November 26 last year. It is being called the longest agrarian movement in independent India. The agitation against the 3 farm laws passed in September 2020 started in Punjab but gradually spread to the neighboring state of Haryana and parts of Uttar Pradesh. But it caught the eyeballs of the nation only when farmers marched to the Delhi borders on November 26 last year. Many thought they would return after registering their protest, but they set up a little township offshore, weathering the cold winter and searing summer. But there was a method to this madness despite the multiplicity of unions and ideologies participating in the agitation. Here is a look at the way both protesters and resources flowing. Unity. The leaders of Farmers Union were very strategic in their approach to the protest and decided to work together very early in the agitation. Daniel Q. Gillian, author of The Political Power of Protest and a sociologist at the University of Pennsylvania, says to be successful, a protest must be impossible to ignore. The Farmers Union in Punjab, after getting little traction from the protest in Punjabi that started in June, decided to take it to the national capital. They were prepared for the long haul right from day one. The tractor trolleys went laden with bedding and food. Once there, they got the attention of the national leader. Although the talks ended in impasse, the union leaders kept the protest alive despite the Republic Day violence that dealt a big blow to the agitation. Also, the leaders worked like a conglomerate under the umbrella of Sanyukt Kisan Morcha. Given the different ideologies followed by the unions, no one expected them to stay together for so long, but they remained united under the SKM and did not let their difference sabotage the agitation. Finances. The protest sites at the Delhi border needed a steady injection of resources to keep going. Aware of this need, the unions had begun making monthly collection from villages last year itself. Ratan Singh Anjala, General Secretary of Jamhuri Kisan Sabha, says villagers contributed a fixed sum depending on their landholding. BKU Ugrahan, the biggest union of farmers in Punjab, also follows this system. Satnam Singh Pannu, President of the Kisan Mazdoor Sanghars Committee KMSC, with a sizable presence in the Majha border belt of Punjab, says they collect funds from their members twice a year after the Rabi and Kharif harvest. Ever since the protest began, there has been an outpouring of funds from singers, artists and NRIs as well. All this has gone into constructing shelters, toilets, buying gensets and digging up borewells at the Delhi border. Infra that makes it easier for the protester to spend a longer time there. Vinod K. Chaudhary, a sociologist with roots in the Haryana countryside, says villages contribute in kind as well. There are villages who have been given the task of bringing durries, mats, others contribute milk, still others offer quilts. It's a decision taken at the village level. With Shiromani Gurudwara Parbandhak Committee SGPC, Delhi Gurudwara Management Committee DGMC and some other NGOs contributing, langar meals are never a problem at the various protest sites. As Pannu puts it, Punjab has a tradition of langar. You just have to be present yourself for protest. The food is taken care by nearby villages. Skilled workers such as electricians, mechanics and plumbers have been offering free service at these sites, building sheds, installing fans and repairing tractors. They were quick to arrive in Karnal when the farmers started a Pakka Morcha there. People, the unions movement behind the farm still are well organized machineries with committee at the level of villages, blocks and districts. They prepare a roster of people to ensure that the protest sites don't empty out. Anjala admits that the numbers at the Delhi borders have thinned, but it's quick to add that the dip is seasonal and depends on the farming schedule. KMFC Chief Panu says mobilizing people for such a long struggle requires hard work, but the prevailing anger against the government makes it a tad easier. We go from village to spread our message, sometimes with the help of pamphlets. And every 10 days we send a jatha of around 2000 people to our enclave at the Singhu border. It's a rotation that takes place every 10 days. The protest, says Anjala, has sustained so long because it has brought various concerns under one banner, thus attracting more stakeholders. The unions have formed a coalition of not just farmers and farm laborers, but of almost everyone associated with farming, from truckers and brick clean workers to commission agents. Communication. Social media has been central to the scale of this agitation. Farmers first received information about the three laws not from a government agency but on social media. The message was compelling. The three laws, if implemented, would destroy the farmer by robbing him of his land and giving it corporate to the corporate giants. Later, they made WhatsApp groups to keep people connected to the movement. They also helped in mobilizing people in a trice. When the UP police was making efforts to empty the Gazipur site following January 26 violence, and BKU leader Mohinder Singh Tikayat was under siege, these groups managed to mobilize thousands overnight. Singers and artists also played a significant role in sustaining the protest by attracting the youth. Traditionally, farm rallies in the state were dominated by elderly and middle-aged. This is the first time the youths were drawn in. From Diljit Dosanjh and Deep Sindhu to Kanwar Grewal, there wasn't any Punjabi singer or artist who did not present himself at the Singhu stage. Every union is supported by an army of social media warriors that keeps the flock together and the fire burning. The rising prices of fuel, LPG and edible oil were only feeding the anti-farm laws narrative that the government is being run by corporate, says Chowdhury. Engagement. The unions kept the stakeholders engaged by ensuring that there was never a dull moment in this agitation. First, there were various tractor marches, then came the boycott of BJP leader, and recently they had trained their sights on the upcoming assembly elections in 5 states. With some activity or the other around the corner, they kept the protest side buzzing.